Good day, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this video. This is Tracy Brown, your somatic nutrition therapist and attuned eating expert. And we are going to talk about some of the awesomest realizations I've heard clients be able to get to over the last, let's say, 20 years. This is not a all-inclusive list, and I'm going to do some disclaimers before I start. As I'm probably going to leave some stuff out, and I'm probably going to make mistakes with these video series. So I'm ready and willing, honestly, to hear your corrections and your convictions to me. And I say that because I know that I don't have every experience. You know, I'm a middle-aged, white, smaller-bodied person, and I'm not going to know everything. And one of my jobs as a nutrition therapist is to be able to facilitate people recognizing that they have choices. That's really, really important to me. So it's not about what I think people should do or what they should do to be free, how they should live their lives, but it's more about here's the current belief system, and maybe there are some other options, and how is what we're thinking or feeling or behaving, how's it serving us? And if it isn't all it's cracked up to be, is there something better that we can come to? And so that's what we're going to talk about. So today is going to be 5 awesome realizations around body image that an amalgam of all kinds of people over the last 20 years have told me about, and that we've unpacked at very deep levels. So I'm just going to do 5. I could probably do 20, but we're going to do 5 today, knowing that please, and I welcome any kind of critiques or whatever's, because I know I'm going to probably miss some nuance or details, and that's important to me that I do my best, do my best by y'all. So, of all different shapes and sizes and backgrounds and all that, I really care a lot about that. So, realization number 1, and oftentimes we forget this. It's a very simple one, but it's like I was not born hating my body. That is a learned response to our environment feeling hostile or feeling like we're not welcome or being criticized. So it's a learned pattern. The great, awesome, blessed news is that we can unlearn that. Our brains are very plastic. It's called neuroplasticity. And the more we can get into a space of really safe relationship, good co-regulation, those kind of things, the more we can see that that's true, that like, I don't remember it, but I bet there was a time that my body was so loved and welcome here. Maybe I've had it sometimes, and maybe, I've just forgotten about it because of stressful circumstances. And I go back to that well of body hatred because that seems to be culturally acceptable, to hate yourself when you're stressed. It just is, right? So that's something I want you to remember, that we can unlearn this. If it feels hopeless, it's only because, honestly, we've just got to keep on unblinding our blind spots of remembering this is a systemic issue. Everybody watching this is probably 3 or 4 generations in of people's bodies feeling like they're somehow wrong or bad. It doesn't matter whether it's stomach size or height or something about us. We've been made to feel like there's a problem that you need to fix. And so we are here to like just dismantle that. Like, no, physically there's no bad bodies, no bad, hair textures, whatever. Okay, so this is learned. Body hatred is learned. It can be unlearned. Number 2, when you say you feel fat, this is always 100% about the sensations, emotions, and memories, experiences you're having that eating or not eating is bringing up. Because we've overcoupled emotions, happy, mad, sad, or afraid, with body sizes. That's just the bottom line. We have fat equals stereotypes and thin equals stereotypes, and all of those can give us feelings of a certain kind of way that makes us overcouple that. So when my clients say, no, Tracy, it's really about like, I just weigh too much and I would feel so happy if I weighed less. I'm like, well, of course you would. This is fat phobic culture. You're supposed to want that. I'm wondering how much that actually aligns with your values, and how much, even if you got that, would this feeling, sensation, emotion actually go away? 100% of the time when we unpack I feel fat, it's always about I feel uncomfortable. And our job is to have options besides the only way to get comfortable is to try to lose weight. What I find is that it usually never works. It's like we still got to deal with the anxieties and the traumas, and looking for, like, coming home to who we really are kind of stuff, as so to speak. Like, who do we want to be in this world? Who we want to belong with? In that very moment, do we have the skills and capacity to solve what feels unsolvable without it being about our bodies? So that's what we're working on. So number 3, remember this. This is so hard to remember, is that without a few people who have this insatiable need for power, then eventually turn into this big systemic issue, like, diet culture, fat phobic medical culture, fitness, all that kind of stuff. Without that need for power, fat phobia probably wouldn't exist. It's just one of those things that recognizing, like, wait a minute, like, we all believe this because we've been told this. We've seen it in commercials, and we've been seen it in books and in magazines for, like, again, many, many decades now. Like, where did that come from, and what is the agenda to get us to believe in that our bodies are somehow flawed and wrong, and we just, and it's our fault. And that's the kicker of it, is remembering that your body being a certain height or weight is part of your genetic reality and propensity. And it's also, life can be hard, and we go through hard times, and injuries and illnesses, and pregnancies change our bodies. And so I think, and as far as I can look outside here and see that there's a variety of trees getting nutrients from the same soil that all look very different, that tells me that naturally people are going to look different too. And anything that is in denial of that and says it's all about willpower is trying to get you to buy something. Okay? So there's that. All right. And what else do I have on my list here? This is really important to me personally, because as a I recover naturally in a smaller body, is I want to tell people that thin people are not special, or more special, or enlightened, or have more willpower. So that kind of goes with point 3, is that, like, I want you to not be, if you don't have a small body, in a fantasy that somehow you just got things wrong, or even that somebody else won the genetic lottery. There would be no comparison or winners or losers here if we opt out of diet culture the best we can. We're going to be in it. It's all around us all the time, but it doesn't mean we have to buy into that it impacts us all in reality. But in, like, reality, it's something that was created. It's not really actually based on the reality of how all humans have to navigate life. And the last one, people often tell me that, Tracy, I don't want to be thin because of the culture, or I don't really care about pleasing people anymore. I just want it for myself. And so when people say that, I really lean in and listen, because it's like, okay, so you want to go back on a diet or get smaller, and how, if it's not about diet culture and you actually really don't care, and you're beyond worrying about the criticism of what other people think, is like, I hear you, that some people say, well, it'd be easier to buy clothes. And that's totally true. It would be easier to go on amusement park rides or go ride on airplanes. That's all really true. But we still really have to think here, how do I deal with maybe the grief of, I can try to get smaller, but again, there's a 95% chance that it won't last, even for these easements in life. And I know that feels like we're both stuck. Like, I'm stuck, and like, yeah, I hear you, and I wish it was easier, and it's so not fair. And I know it can feel stuck if you're in that position of, like, what am I supposed to do about it? And a lot of times there are just places where we are in this grieving mode on and off of, like, it would be easier, but I'm not willing to put my body through that again. And having, honestly, that much humility and love and respect is a giant deal, for which I would never try to tell somebody differently that they should or shouldn't do. Even though I think we'd both be in agreement, like, I don't think that, given your history, that purposeful weight loss is probably going to be a viable thing, but I understand how come you want to do it, and I totally get it. But let's just kind of like sit with that. Like, what would it look like if we didn't get to do those things, and would there be other enjoyments in life? And so it's really about like this very deep, sensitive, delicate exploration of dealing with the unfairness of things. And I wish it could change, and maybe it will. The more of us say, hey, it's not cool that the airplanes are so like this. I don't know if that changes systems, to be perfectly honest, but it doesn't hurt to try. But the most important thing we can do is have a lot of empathy and a lot of patience and a lot of grace with ourselves. So these are my 5 points today. There will be more. We're going to talk about food and movement along in the week. And I might do a series like this again just to kind of like add in more points as we go along. So if you have any questions, please tag me. I know I think I'm going to go back and look at the comments later when I have a few more minutes. And I value all of you so much for watching, for passing this information along to people who really need to hear it as well. So thank you all so much. And I hope you have a really great day. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.